Hello everyone, my name is Aaron and I'm going to give a book review on The History of Andersonville Prison by Ovid L. Futch. Ovid Futch was not only a professor at Morehouse College, but by the time he actually finished his career teaching, he ended up becoming the chair of the Department of History at the University of South Florida. Now, Futch's book, as discussed in here, it mainly goes through what actually goes on in Andersonville based off of his research using different letters, memoirs, first-hand accounts of the actual prisoners there, the guards, the officers, and in the book, it starts off by describing the prison itself and actually how vast it was, which in a way, I guess it can be interesting, but later on in the text, it almost seems like it takes us back in time to what actually happened based off of his research and telling us how life actually was on there. Example being later on, it starts by saying how writers would show that the Confederacy deliberately sought to bring about the death of federal prisoners of war at Andersonville. Now, I saw that and I thought, really? But then the text later on reveals that there was a sincere but unsuccessful effort to provide shelter for the prisoners of Andersonville. So, with that, it then takes us how the conditions were at the camp and how life actually was. Some examples were the pictures towards the middle-ish section of the book, much like these. And I think it clearly depicted how conditions were and how life actually was, how life was like for them, the prisoners. And then later on it talks about like different stuff like the medical care for the prisoners, the danger that they went through in there, raiders, different stuff like that. But in conclusion, I really thought that this book proved what was really going on in the prison. However, it seems like a little cut and dry for me. What I would actually consider is taking what's here and actually making another book, but more historical fiction, because for students such like myself, I really couldn't get into this book at first until I thought of it like a story. So that might help students a little bit more who are not history majors like myself really read this book. As well, Futch does use, I do commend him for using evidence that, proves his point, like I mentioned earlier in this, using first-hand accounts of the prisoners, the guards, the officers, and not only that, he actually uses federal government records to prove what was actually going on in there. It was pretty much well written, not I mean, even though I thought it, like I said, was cut and dry, but I thought it was pretty well written for being a book such as this. And as well, with his conclusion on showing us what was really going on, I believe that this what could have happened at the prison, rather than what other books or texts have told us that what was going on in the prison. with everything that I've discussed in this, I would actually recommend this book to history majors, or even faculty that, are like history, and as well as people who are just really into history, more specifically maybe the Andersonville prison, or, people could just really, really like history. So that's what I would that's who I would recommend this book to. And uh, this is my critique on and review on the history of Andersonville Prison by Ovid L. Funch. And thanks for watching.